ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries. This is me, Bradley G, Magic Brad, also known as me. So I'm here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Spent the last 2 days chopping ice dams off of my roof. Ay, ay, ay. And then I checked my emails, and I got this email request from somebody to do an interview. And her name is Kaziah Hancock. And what was intriguing to me is within there was a video. As soon as I clicked it, it was about this couple from Minnesota, for cripe's sakes. So I thought, I got to get connected with this lady and find out what she's all about. So it's very interesting, and I'm going to bring her on right now. Her name is Kaziah. Are you there in the green room? Come out.
Sure am.
Well, hello there. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How's your world? And thank you for having me as a guest. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're down in Utah. I drove through there. That's beautiful down there. You know that big long drive on the way to California where you almost run out of gas?
Oh, yeah.
I did that. That was scary. But I made it. I survived. How long have you lived in Utah?
Since being hauled off the prairie in Arizona.
Okay.
My whole life. I've never lived in any other state.
Okay, well, I'm long-term Minnesota myself. I grew up here, and now I'm back in the city that I grew up in by strange coincidence. So sometimes it's good to have deep roots, I guess, because you know what's going on in the city. You got kids, you married, and all that kind of stuff, or you just single, wild, and crazy?
If you say what is a kid, I have goats.
Okay.
No children, never had any children, but and then I end up adopting a nation, basically.
Okay.
And it's all about compassion for families that have had kids.
Yeah, I watched your video. It's very touching. It got me that the strums on the heartstrings there. You're basically an artist, and from what I gathered is you find parents that have lost children or even siblings or whatever and lost people, and you paint portraits of them, and you send it off. And from what I understand is you don't charge them any money.
Yeah, but see, the thing is we need to define that. Okay, those that are killed in the, even suicides, hey, I ain't their judge, in the service of our nation, soldiers, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, National Guard, and police officers, even a few FBI agents.
Sure.
And firefighters that have lost their life doing a job that not too many want to do. And because I love being in a free nation, being protected by these quality human beings, that's why they get a free gift. So it ain't free. I mean, they don't pay for it. That's true. But
the stuff comes about. I'm sure you got money coming in to pay your rent and buy food, and it happens that way. You give, and eventually you get.
Well, you either have faith that God's going to help you, or you don't.
Yeah.
So I just happen to believe that, and see, in 2 months, I will have been doing this for 20 years.
Okay.
Amazing how time flies.
Well, I looked at some of your stuff. You're very good at it. I mean, to me, art, I'm like more of a stick figure kind of guy. I can't see. I've got a friend that does the kind of art where he airbrushes and it looks like a picture. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how you guys do that. How you got that?
Well, you have to go a little bit blind, like cross your eyes just slightly, so that you see things that you otherwise won't see if you didn't do that. I'm serious.
I'll have to give that a try. Maybe I'm about to be artist if I can just learn how to cross my eyes. I hope you're not charging money to teach them classes on that's how you do it. Let me give a little visual of your book here. Let's talk a little about that. It is called Escape Prisons of the Mind. So I haven't read the book. I just saw the book, and I'm assuming that it's somewhat related to what the purpose that you're doing this for, the freedom element.
Well, my family were from polygamous, Mormon polygamy in the state of Utah,
Okay.
from way back to the time of Joseph Smith. Both my grandfather and great grandfather were bodyguards to Joseph Smith. So, all that doctrine, they totally believed it. And so that's what happened. It was a normal thing as a child to have to go and sit in these, it was just somebody's home, with microphones. So, but, so that everybody could hear the brethren, stand up, sit there on a platform, looking down their noses at us, telling the kids, you need to submit to the priesthood council to be placed in marriage where God wants you to go and not where you want to go. So with all that crap, okay, yeah, I rebelled.
Got it.
But then I had an occasion when I was damn near knifed to death. And so I decided going to church was better. So anyway, and started attending the last meetings. This is like the group that Warren Jeffs, the SOB, blankety blank blank, child molester who is now in prison. He was on the FBI's most wanted list. But anyways, this is like his father and friends of the Johnson group. So, now one thing about this book, see, when I wrote the first part of this book and didn't include the last 40 years, I did not know a lot of things that I found out later. And so therefore, but I put the real names in this one.
Okay.
Before, I was a little concerned maybe about lawsuits and people that knew of the situation. Hey, is so-and-so, so-and-so? Yeah. Well, what about so-and-so? Is that this one or that? Now they know. It says I changed the names to protect the children. There's only 2 names that I changed in the whole thing. So anyway.
Well, we've got a friend of mine here that found the book on Amazon and put a little link up there. So if anybody's interested in the book, it's available on Amazon. Escape Prison's Mind, Kaziah Hancock.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy Lee. So that's all of that stuff that happened to you is what got you to.
Being put in marriage, given in marriage at 15, that I was brainwashed to believe that if I didn't, then I'd be damned and go to hell. And their version of going to hell, you know what, if you don't pass us and get our permission, you will go to hell. In fact, you will be destroyed. Even your very soul will cease to exist. You will be dissolved into native elements. And here's the thing, as a young girl, say 14, 15, I would never have supposed that anyone would have the audacity to use the word, thus saith the Lord, when God had not spoken. But that's where we are, my friend. So what the hell? Being put in this wretched mess. But I tried the best that I could under the belief that God will never ask you to do anything that he won't help you with. So I embraced work. They had a little family-owned business, and I just as soon be out there scrubbing glass gallon jugs and plastic buckets and 55-gallon metal barrels and whatever container need to be scrubbed to stay the hell out of the house and all the shouting and the jealousy and the hatred. Oh God, and the sex abuse. And so, when I escaped after 18 years of this wretched mess, and I knew if I didn't get the flip out of there, I was going to wind up in an insane asylum. And some people had wind up in insane asylum, and some committed suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, getting out of the damn mess. I was willing to do the suicide if it was me working myself to death. I wasn't going to do nothing to but I figured that would be because the Mormons, it's part of the doctrine, okay? Even the Mormon church, both of them, polygamous, you are known by your work. By your works, you shall know them. That's the way it's. So work's a good thing. I like work. Gives a person respect. So here's the thing. Yeah, when you look at what I've done and what I embraced and how I stuck to it, I'm a workaholic. I'm an old lady workaholic now. I can't cut the mustard like I used to, but I'm still, my heart is still in the servant of those that have given everything for us. Then I had a lady, she wanted to contact a agent, an art agent in New York, and say, well, you know, I want you to look at Kaziah's work and see if you represent her. So she looked at my paintings that are not the soldiers, you know, that I obviously have other paintings for sale. And it's how I had the money to even start Project Compassion. But she says, well, you know, the problem with representing Kaziah, I love her work, but the problem with representing Kaziah is she devalues everyone she's trying to sell by everyone that she gives away. And of course, this was a message left on my answer machine. And I called back and I said, you know what? It ain't free. It's the cost of a human life. That is the highest price possible. Please don't tell me these are free. Damn it.
Yeah,
that was the end of my contact. They didn't want to talk to me, and fine.
Well, see, the universe is like that. There, for every wave that comes in, a wave goes out. You know, it's just the way that everything works in this world. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary.
But there's a few people that have caught the vision. It's funny because, see, when people seen what I was doing, then this Michael Reagan, whatever his name is, he started doing pencils, and that's fine, you know. But taking my lead, I'm just going to say the inspiration of the Holy Spirit's lead, because I can't take credit for it. Anyway, it was just put in my heart.
That's the way I look at it too. Give the glory to God. That's the way to do it.
And then George Bush, President George Bush, started doing them. That guy, though, the thing is, he really ought to kind of humble himself and go get a few art lessons, because he sucks at it.
That's fun to hear that. At least you're straight up, because you have the freedom of speech.
That's right. Thank God for it.
Yes. So that's somewhat of what triggered all this. Is the contents of the book kind of triggered the artwork of the soldiers and the.
Well, you know, I mean, I recognize the hand of God in me being able to get out of that wretched mess, buy a little piece of land, build a nice home. And every time I walk from my kitchen to my art studio, I just burst out in tears and gratitude, just thanking God for his hand in my life and blessing me with all that I had not. And in my heart, I was saying, I owe you. I owe you. Of course we owe him. But I mean, I just lived with that desire. And, well, you know, flying by the seat of my pants as an artist. And then one day, I searching for a music station. I'd tape favorite songs on your old cassette tapes. Yeah, 20 years ago. Okay, I'd probably still do it today if I could. But anyway, and here's this program that came on, and it was about the death of James W. Calley out of northern Utah. Mm-hmm. And they was talking about him as a husband, as a soldier, as a father, you know, a son. And I sat on the floor, put my back to the edge of the couch, and I listened, and tears just ran. You know, hey, listen, when I heard what the hell bin Laden did, and the Twin Towers came down and they said they knew who did it and they was going to go, something in me said, If I was younger, I'd want to be traipsing across that desert carrying an AK-47. Oh, hell yeah. I'll do it. I'll go after him. You don't even have to pay me. But
Well,
so that,
Kaziah.
and then, and then it came out that here this precious man had been killed, and I you feel stupid. Of course, nobody can do anything. He's dead. But I thought, hey, wait a minute. How about you do a beautiful oil portrait of him and give it to the family as a free gift? Just a simple act of kindness from one American to another.
Ah.
So I, of course, all that information, you can't, that's just not readily available. But anyway, I had some contacts with a local TV station that had done a little bit of covering of my artwork. And I called and asked them, and they says, hey, sure, listen, I can't give you their number, but I'll give them your number. And they can call it. So that's how we worked it. And then there was another, James, Darren Smith. He's from Utah too. And so I did him, and then a few others. And then this gal from Utah, Artist Hand, she asked me, she says, now, Kaziah, are you just going to paint the ones from Utah then? I thought for a whole 3.5 seconds. Well, do you think I care about the ones in New York or Boston or Minnesota or Texas any less? I don't think so. Well, Kaziah, you can't do them all. There's been almost 80 killed. I said, listen, I'll work until I either get them all painted or I will expire trying.
Wow.
Well, thank God.
Still going like the ever ready bunny.
Yeah, I still do it,
Wow.
And a few people, I lost funding at the end of 2012. See, I didn't have any funding in the first go around, but after I did about 30 of them, then a man come on and he said, hey, I'll cover the cost of the material. So I was able to incorporate more artists. Well, there was a point in time between 2005, 2006, we was losing a lot of guys in Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever the flip it was. But we was losing a lot. So I was able to bring a few other artists on. And there was a website. It was called heropaintings.com. And for years, as long as I had the help, I was able to keep that going. And this one, it was Alda Pacific. And they wanted $35 for every time an artist would send in an image and information for them to upload it on this Hero Paintings website. So what happened was when I lost funding and I didn't have any money to have the other artists help me. So I was just basically flying by the seat of my pants from one to the next, and gosh. Anyway.
Okay.
So
it was basically that art that brings us back to your book, and we've gone for about 19 minutes here, but so your book, that's kind of where that came from, is escaping those prisons or that mindset. Freedom is what got you out of that.
The extreme oppression of living under polygamy. Mm-hmm. As a third wife, when the first wife has all the advantages, and I'd rather die. I'd rather die, kill, or be killed. I'll never. So I guess I know I don't have to. All that BS that was serving God, that's just BS. Jesus would never expect me to endure anything like that. So, rape is a crime. And if a woman kills a guy, to keep from being raped. Good for her. Hell, I wish all the child molesters and rapists and murderers were put to death and not in a few years, immediately. And you know what? It would cease to exist among us.
Definitely a deterrent, isn't it?
That's no crap.
Well, Kaziah, I appreciate you with sharing this. We had two different things we were talking about. Your book that's basically about what all happened there. And then what all happened there was what changed your mind and says, I want to be free. And then you started doing these paintings for these people that fight to protect us from to save our planet. Right?
There's a small transition in between there because I didn't know diddly squat about painting. I knew as a child that I wanted to be an artist, but here's the thing. That sucker, he took all my art supplies that my precious mother had purchased for me, and he put them in the garbage can along with you will account for every minute of your time. Okay, so after escaping that wretched mess, I started drawing again, and then I started taking art lessons, and then I married an art instructor.
And now you do classes, and here's how you do it. You cross your eyes, right?
He was the love of my life. Oh my God, how wonderful monogamy is when you really love someone. And then he got into that crap of studying the old, it's the dark side of Mormonism is what it is. It's the early days teachings of Joseph Smith, You see, what people don't understand, because the normal person that has any intelligence is not going to want to marry a whole bunch of women and handle all their problems. I mean, kind of like one is pretty much enough for both of them.
Yeah, I hear you there. There's some kind of screw loose, huh?
Yeah, there is a screw loose. But the thing is, see, what Mormon people don't know, and the reason they don't know, my friend, they don't want to know. And then it's like this guy was going on a mission for the Mormon church. And I said, but Scott, do you understand what that religion is all about? And even the foundation of it. And he says, well, it's yes. And I said, do you know how many wives Joseph Smith had? And he firmed up and says, no, and I don't want to know. Okie dokie. You sure as shit won't then.
Let's keep it. Done with that. So on a happier note, let's shift on to your art project. This is how you get a hold of Kaziah, the art of Kaziah. And very honorable what you're doing with those paintings of people. And do you have anything else that you're going to be launching into? Is it something outside of the freedom fighters, or are you doing animals or something like that too?
Oh, hey, okay. There's, I don't know if you can see it, but maybe I can turn the thing and you can see.
Careful.
Oops. Here. See?
Yep. Oh, there you go.
That's one of my faces. All right. Anyway, enough of that.
Got it.
Okay.
Well, cool. Well, Kaziah, I'm going to put you in the green room. And like I said, we've got those digital hors d'oeuvres back there if you want to enjoy some of the digital hors d'oeuvres. And then if you want
to take a break so we can go potty.
I can come back and give you a little chat. And then what I'm going to do is I'll beam this up to YouTube and things, and I'll send you a link via email. Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
Darling, are we done then, or do you want me to stick around or what?
We are done. You can stick around if you'd like to, and I'm just going to sign this off. If you disappear, then I understand, and we can reconnect at another time.
Hey, and your book should arrive any day. It was mailed 2 days ago.
Okay.
Okay. And then you'll want to have me back, and then we'll really have something to talk about.
Yeah, I think there's more. Coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kaziah.
And okay. Take care. You bet.
Well, there you got it. Kaziah Hancock. That's a fascinating story. That was fascinating when I saw the video, and it's still fascinating now. She's got this book right there. It's called Escape Prisons of the Mind. And then she's also got her artwork, and that's right here. So you can find out where she is right here, theartofkaziah.com. So that's the story of Morning Glory. I enjoy you watching me and hope you enjoyed something out of this interview. Peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good, be kind, be nice, be safe, be nice, be nice.